Hi, hello everybody. It's me, Jennifer Stenhouse from Little Metal Boxes, and I just wanted to share some tool tips with you today. So, come on, let's do it. And what I wanted to show you today is some fun things with the Swage block. And the Swage block, if you don't have one, is awesome because you can do a lot of stuff with it. If you don't have a Swage block, you're probably more familiar with similar blocks that are the dapping blocks. Hey everybody! And dapping blocks are great for making semicircles, but these are great for doing a bunch of other shapes. So you've got semicircles, triangles, squares, and more. So these can be really great for shaping wire and sheet into all kinds of shapes. Great for making beads, great for making changing your wire, especially, into a different profile. So if you don't have a draw plate or a rolling mill, a Swage block can be a really great kind of in-between tool that can do a lot of stuff for you. So the Swage blocks are usually a nice hard steel. They've got grooves in them that are, like these are round, big round ones, and they vary in, like I said, size and shape. And depending on the block, you may find them with, you know, with the curves like this, little half pipes, and then you've got these you can see are triangles here and rectangles on the bottom. So this gives you, like I said, a lot of opportunities for a variety of shapes and sizes in different shaping possibilities. So these are great to use with, like I said, sheet or wire. You can also use tubing in them and change the profile of your tubes. With all metals, you want to make sure they are annealed before you start shaping. But this can be really great. This weekend, I'm actually doing the Shaping Demystified class, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff that you can get in a multi-purpose forming kit like this one. So this thing has that Swage block, another Swage block attached, a dapping block, an anvil, a whole bunch of dapping punches, but it has some other punches that are different shapes than just round, and these guys are to be used in conjunction with your Swage blocks. So, this set's really great. I got it on Amazon for about $150 rather than like the 300 to 600 range that you would, you know, find it from a lot of the jewelry places, a lot of jewelry suppliers. So I really like this set. But we're going to be talking about that this weekend, and I do have a few seats left in there if anybody wants to join us. So talking about using this for shaping, for making different things for beads, doing things like forming cylinders and changing wire profiles and tubing profiles. So if you want to join us, it's going to be a great workshop. So I'm going to demystify this whole thing for you guys. And not just this, but some other anvils and other mandrels as well. So I've got some great little mandrels here that I'm going to show you guys too, for shaping things like bezels and rings and all kinds of stuff. So, oh, hi everybody. Hi, Kyle. So, Swage blocks. So, usually with a Swage block, I'm usually using a brass hammer, and brass hammers are great for, brass mallets are great for using for stamping, using steel on steel, so you don't want to hit your steel tools like your punches with a steel hammer. It's hard on both of them. And the brass is refaceable and reshapeable. So these guys are great for that kind of thing. You can usually get a nice heavy brass mallet like this for not a lot of money. And they're going to get, you know, the faces on them are going to get banged up, and that's okay. That's what they do. But you can easily sand them down if you need to reface them. And in fact, Chris Anderson is going to be doing a hammer refacing class coming up the end of the month. So it's all there for you if you want it. But what I wanted to show you today is how to change the profile of wire and tubing. So, but the cool thing is if you're trying to do like little hard bends like this, like a little L bend or V bend, you can actually do it in a Swage block. So this can be really great for stone setting processes and a lot more. So I've got a piece of annealed round wire here, and this is, so I know what gauge it is before I start. This one is 8 gauge, 8 gauge, 10 gauge, 10 gauge. and I got it from the hardware store. You can usually get, you know, some nice big copper wire from the hardware store, and that works pretty well. So kind of like working on a dapping punch, instead of working like down and sort of moving around in a circle, you kind of work your way down the line. You can also get swage blocks that are patterned for things like rings and bracelets, and they're worked in very much the same way, so they not only shape the wire that you put in there, but they also pattern it. So they do make patterned blocks, and those can be, you know, kind of cool and fun if you're doing a lot of shaping and texturing and stuff. So let me see if I can move you over here so you can see kind of what I'm up to. So I really love this really solid stool that I use for forming and shaping and hammering. It's just, you know, the right size and the right height for where I'm working. I've also got my steel block here, and these are actually Vibram shoe soles. And you can usually get stuff like this from, well, some of the shoe repair places will have this, and it's kind of a heavy duty rubber that is used for really good shoes. But this rubber is great for working with my my blocks here. So what I want to do, I'm going to find let's find a V groove. There we go. Yeah. So I'm going to take my wire and put it into my little V groove here, and again, you want to start with a annealed wire when you do this. Okay. And if your wire is too big to fit in, you know, the smallest one that you're working for, work your way down, because this can really help you sort of get into that groove a little bit better. But I also usually leave it attached to the wire when I'm working, so that as I'm hammering, I have a handle to work with. But you don't want it to be so long you've got to wrestle with it, just so long as you can hold on to it, you know, securely. And like I said, if you don't have a rolling mill, this can be a great option. Oh, hey Chris, how are you? If you want to join in, I'm happy to have you join me here. So the nice thing about the brass hammers too is that you don't damage your swage block while you're working on this. So I've been hammering on one side, and I'm going to flip this over so that I can hammer down the other side. And because this is a triangle, it will conform to my shape here. There we go. There we go. And, haha, it's turning into my triangle wire, just like that. So this will give me kind of a head start if I'm wanting to even pull it through a draw plate to get it into a triangle wire. So instead of trying to like go from round to a triangle or square, you can use this to get your wire started, and then when you pull it through the draw plate, it'll smooth it down quite a lot. So there's all kinds of options with that. But now I've got a little piece of triangle wire, and I could use these. Oh, hey there, let's get you to join in. Yeah. Change your wire shape to get it prepped for pulling through draw plates. And yeah, hey there, hi Chris.
What's going on?
Oh, I see
good.
You?
Yeah. I'm plugging in my phone.
Oh, cool. I'm making triangle wire. So yeah, that's so funny. I just mentioned that you're going to be doing the hammer refacing class coming up on the 26th. So, because you're good at that stuff, working with tools and whatnot. So, yeah. So there we go. So, yeah. So I can keep kind of working on this and getting it rounded or triangled up. And there you go. And I do need to start with a wire that's slightly larger than my swage block, because it's going to be compressing down into it. So my wire was sitting proud of the wire for the groove right before that. Here we go. Hey there.
What's going on?
Stranger. Here we go. So, triangle wire. So this is good for stuff like all kinds of, you know, giving you a different profile for your metal when you're working. So that's kind of nice. So if you've got round and you're like, oh, I don't know if I need triangle wire, if you have a nice little swage block, you can change it into whatever profile you want. It's also got the square or the rectangle, which is nice. So if I want to make some pedestal settings using rectangle wire, Hammer it out.
Believe it or not, I like to make my own.
Your Swage blocks?
Yep.
Show off.
Well, there's an easy way that pretty much anybody can do, and if you have some basic tools.
Yeah.
So, first of all, piece of wood.
Wooden Swage blocks are great.
But
yeah, but this one I like it because it's
that's a nice one.
Triangle, and you can do like a rectangle or square on this side and square things up. Sometimes when you pull it through the mill, it's not exactly squared up, and this can help you get it squared up a little bit as well.
You want to see the fun one I found on eBay?
Yeah, what you got?
Missy.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got rectangle on one end and triangle on the other.
This guy.
Let's see. Oh, where'd my tube go? Yeah, those are great. Yeah. That's one of the other ones that I've got here. So yeah, and this one has ovals in it.
Yep. And then I have another
Yeah, that's fantastic.
One, more of a dap than a Swage block. Stick in my pile of stuff here.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Seriously, they're not that expensive, and I really love that this set is only like $150 on Amazon. So if you're interested in the class this weekend and doing like the forming and mandrels demystified, this is on the materials list, which is open to see. So before you join the class, you can see our materials list. There's no paywall between our materials list and the class. So you can go and check that out if you want a link to this on Amazon. It is there for the materials list. But highly recommend it. What you got, Chris? What was that?
So this is an oval with oval daps.
Right. Ta-da!
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love these things.
Yeah, and yes, the mystery of the oval. I love those. Indeed.
One of the cool uses for those is actually to make a part of a setting used to dome basically an oval for a ring setting, either upside or however you want to do it. But one of the favorite uses I have is for that.
Right. So yeah, those can be really good. I had a piece of tubing I was gonna shape. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh, it has rolled away. But yeah, but you can do this with tubing too. Oh, there it is. All right. So let's do some half round. I'm gonna make a half round tube. What do you think about that? Yeah,
I did that the other day using a rolling mill, but if you don't have a rolling mill, you can use that.
For tubing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
So the use that I did it for is that I made a bangle out of woven wire.
Yeah.
And I got my weaves around here somewhere, but I wanted the weave after I got done drawing it down and making it nice and consistent. I took it and I rolled it through half round on my rolling mill because I wanted the bangle to be half round.
Oh, cool.
So in order to make the fitting between, there you go, I needed my tube to also be half round.
Right.
So I went and did a half round tube, and then I was able to engrave the top portion of where I'd soldered it together, engrave that, texture it, and then it blends in really nice without having to try and solder a 5 braid together to make it look nice.
Right. Well, and doing stuff like a half round, piece of tubing like this, instead of trying to solder it together, you can form it pretty easily. And these are great for making things like box clasp and little catches and things for bracelets and for necklaces. So yeah, it gives you a really great way to sort of shape stuff, but in unexpected ways. People are going to be like, where did you get the half round tubing?
How'd you get triangle tubing?
Exactly. How'd you get the triangle tubing?
Sometimes you'll need to put an element in the center of it in order to.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll use stuff like a thermal plastic, but with tubing, the best thing I've found to keep it kind of steady is just loose brass wires, small brass wires. And so if you thread the brass wires in there, shape it, bend it, whatever you need to do, you don't want to twist it. Don't want to twist the wire. You just want to slip them in kind of loosely, and then when you shape it, they can move, and they're going to tighten up as the profile of the tubing changes, and then you pull out one and the rest kind of come out after it. But that way it supports the inside of the tube while you're shaping it.
Mechanical pencil erasers.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, yeah, with stuff like gold and other materials. One of the ways that they make like small tubing has in the past been like rolling the tubing over a core and then shaping it, and then the core is usually made of something like brass or copper, and you can put it in an acid that'll etch out the lesser mineral, leaving you with, you know, the gold on the outside. So
you can do the same thing with a wooden dowel, and you heat it up, the surface of the dowel becomes charcoal, and you can pull your dowel out.
Right, right. Yeah, many tricks from the past. From
the fun part of
metal sniffing forefathers.
Of the silver portion, I mean, you really don't have to worry about it too much with the gold, but the charcoal and the wood will kind of inhibit some of the oxides from forming.
Right, right. It's true. Yeah, charcoal and graphite are fantastic for that. A lot of people like to use like a smaller core, like a brass core, but wrap paper around it, and then you can light the paper on fire and pull out the core very easily.
I do that with my mandrel, for doing like curb chain.
Yeah,
paper.
Yeah, that's one of Julia's tricks with her chain as well. Yeah, but you can do it with stuff like this really easily. So. Just kind of wrap some paper, and then the paper burns out, and then everything else comes out easily after that when you've changed the profile.
You could probably shove paper in there too.
Say what?
Probably shove paper in there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, because it doesn't compress very easily. Paper is usually as compressed as it can be. So that's why it's great for things like rolling mill templates. But yeah, it's great for stuff like this because the metal is more spongy and will shape around the paper. So yeah.
If you put paper in a hydraulic press, it explodes.
I know. Have you seen? Oh, what's the guy from Finland that does the
press channel?
Yeah,
hydraulic press channel.
Oh, I love them. They're so awesome.
He's fun.
It looks like you've got a fan for the paperclip mandrel.
Oh, hey. No problem.
It's Nikki. It's Nikki in Maine. Hi, Nikki. Hello.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, but. Yeah, I would hope everybody kind of gives this a try. If you've had a Swage block and you've used it for shaping metal before, for like sheet metal, you know, it can do so much more. So I really want to demystify like this kind of stuff this weekend for people. So come on and see what you can do with it. But yeah, half round tubing, square tubing, triangle tubing. Change your tubing shapes, change your wire shapes. And be able to do things like, I'm going to show them actually some ancient forming tools that are for doing things like sinusoidal stakes of ancient background.
Nice.
So I've got a bunch of really kind of cool stuff like that.
I made a bunch of them myself.
Yeah.
Some wood ones, some metal ones. They work pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine are found objects that would be used, back by the Celts. So
I use old punches from the hardware store.
Those are great too. Yeah, I've got a few of those. These guys are fantastic. These are from Miguel down in Florida, and they are all kinds of bezel mandrels.
Oh, yeah.
And these things are fantastic because he's got a set. And they're oval and round and square and emerald cut and six-sided and triangular and heart-shaped. And so I've got, a really lovely set of bezel mandrels from him. So that was awesome. But also bezel mandrels and punches and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, you can totally make your own. But yeah, so I would highly recommend it. Again, if for those of you that are just joining us, doing something with like the copper wire, silver wire, whatever you're using, and taking it from round to shape using your Swage block to make V's, to make squares, to make rectangles. So yeah, this is lots and lots and lots of possibilities. So
what I do recommend is if you use one like that, don't use like your good hammer. I like putting another piece of material over the top of it, so you're compressing it down. and you're not
Yeah,
hurting your
sometimes I'll use my my
bench
block
block.
and hammer that way,
Perfect.
and that'll compress it pretty well. But I'm usually almost always using my brass hammers when I'm forging into my my dapping punches and
You
my
don't.
swage blocks.
One of the rule of thumbs is you don't want to do steel to steel. You want
Right,
to do brass to steel or steel to
right,
brass, and yeah,
right, right. Yeah, it's can be really hard on the tools and actually really hard on your body and your ears.
and
What,
cause falling,
yep,
which could not fun. I'm gonna
right.
thank you for letting me join. I've got another meeting I
Absolutely, it's
gotta
great
head
to
to.
see you.
You guys enjoy and give Jennifer an interesting evening with the rest of this live. So we'll talk to you tomorrow during class.
Absolutely, see you then, and
All
we
right.
look
Bye,
forward to you
Jennifer.
doing class on the 26th.
Absolutely. Can't
Yeah,
wait for that.
yeah, we'll see you later. Thanks, bye. All right. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the swage block or what these forming tools can do, please email us, join us on Saturday. Like I said, there's plenty of room left, and this really can change the look of your work significantly because you suddenly go from 2D to 3D and taking your really super flat stuff into another dimension, the third dimension. So making it domed, giving it some curve, making a shape, doing, all kinds of wonderful shapes that you can use for earrings, bracelets, pendants, and tiaras or whatever you want to do. But for beads, understanding, how something like, the giant steel dice works is, one of the basic things that you kind of learn. But a lot of times they don't take you down the road of the rest of the swage blocks. So I really want to kind of demystify these things. They are awesome. So like I said, this set was about 150, I think, on Amazon. There's a link to it on the materials list for this weekend's class. And, but ovals, and there's a die for that, or a dapping punch for that. And all the shapes that are on this also have dapping punches as well. So to do square, triangle, and half round shapes, that's going to be your friend for sure. But this is a great set. I really like it. It has like a little mini anvil. It's so cute. And these are forming surfaces as well, which is lovely. But having, some fabulous tools that can help you create the shapes that you need to make to be able to do a hard fold in a piece of metal, giving it, a nice 90-degree turn like so, can be really helpful for working on your stuff. So, oh, hey, Tammy, how are you? Hi. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And there will be this as well as all of our other Tool Tip Tuesday are live. And they're also on YouTube. So our YouTube channel, we've got about almost 60 tool tips. Plus, we're going to be doing some in-studio artist interviews. We just did one with Lori Talcott. That's awesome. And we had some technical difficulties with the camera, which we have sorted out since then. So that will be better going forward. But Lori Talcott's an amazing filigree artist and installation artist and jeweler, and long, wonderful history. She's a lovely person. So if you have a chance to watch the interview, that is on YouTube as well. And so we've got a whole bunch of stuff for you guys to learn and grow and make your stuff amazing in your studio. So yeah, those mandrels are great. So hi, Matthew. Hello. So many forming opportunities. Exactly. And it's not just sheet. I think a lot of people sort of stop at sheet and they're like, oh, what do you mean I can make half round tubing or, triangle shaped wire using this, triangle tubing? What? That's right. So yeah, but do join us this weekend if you have a chance. So yeah, and we'll demystify some of these things. And make some samples and have some fun. Also, too, these are a great complement if you're doing things like boxes and lockets and beads. And Julia has her boxes and lockets class coming up soon, which I highly recommend because she's going to be talking about things like hinges on the lockets class. Yes, the ends are very useful. So yeah, but I've got, I love that it's got like the oval dapping part on the other swage block, but Yeah, but take a look around, and if you can find a nice, lovely set like that for a reasonable price, great. If you're using it occasionally, I would recommend starting out with something that's like this. It's not too terribly expensive, and growing from there. You may want to go and get a nicer one. If you're using something that's really good and you're like, I need to step it up a little bit, but for a nice variety in a studio, to kind of flush out, your making, this is a great addition. So a compliment to the rolling mill, your draw plates, and just being able to make some shapes. So if you have a chance, grab one of those, grab a big old brass mallet, and have some fun. And I hope you'll join us on Saturday to see the whole class and what we're going to be doing. And like I said, Julia's class is coming up, the boxes, and then she has a lockets class, which is going to have the hinges and some forming stuff. We've also got Chris's reface all of the hammers in your studio. So if you don't have a hammer that looks like that you can see your face in, Chris is going to show you how to do that and bring your hammers back. And if you've got some old hammers, it's a great opportunity to get them cleaned up and do something awesome with them and give them some love. And again, April is Earth Month, so time to recycle. If you've got some old silver scrap that you need to recycle, do it, send it in, or melt it down and start forming it into something else. So great time to recycle and kind of look around your studio for any environmental things that you might be able to change or upgrade. So, working with in a little more eco-responsible way is always good. So take a look for that. All right, you guys, have a great evening. Take a look at the other tool tips on YouTube or here, and check out our YouTube channel. Thanks a lot. And have any questions, message us, and we'll see you soon. See you next week. Bye.